Oh, it's time for fall nails. Let's do some tortoise shell, and I'm going to show you a trick on getting those beads lined up. So here are the products that I used. You can see there's a couple of them there. Now, I started with chrome on my nails. It's actually silver chrome that I topped with a yellow jelly polish. Now you might be thinking, why didn't I just gold chrome them? I could have. I would have top coated them anyway. But if you have jelly colors or you make your own jelly colors, you can have any color chrome you want as long as you've got silver to start with. So that's what I did. These are my natural nails. I'm going to paint the bottoms of them in the end though, because it looks nasty. But here we go. So I have my blooming gel and I have my jelly colors. So I already told you I used the yellow and I put that aside. So this is an orange and a dark chocolate and a light chocolate, all from Born Pretty. And then of course a top coat. So I've got my mat down, and let's go ahead and get into the tortoise shell on my middle finger and ring finger. So here we go. We're starting with the blooming gel. And just get a nice coat on here. So blooming gel, I think, is a little fussy. You don't want it too thin because you won't get a lot of bloom, but you don't want it too thick because you're going to put other colors into it and it's going to run too much. It's going to run into your cuticles. So let's go ahead and start with the milk chocolate. Now Born Pretty doesn't have names on these colors, they just have those numbers that I showed you. But I'm calling these just so we can differentiate for the purposes of the video. So I'm blobbing it all on with no real pattern in mind and letting it bloom. So just letting it kind of puddle and blend with the blooming gel. Now I've got that dark chocolate that I'm putting on top. I'm overlapping it with the milk chocolate. And now I have an orange wood stick that I'm just going to use to help move the color a little more into that blooming gel, get it more in the locations I want it to. I don't want the spotty, I'm not going for leopard. I'm going to try and do a tortoise shell, which has big, smushier colors. And that orange wood stick is just helping me move it around a little better. Yes, there is a nail tip glued to the other end. I do that sometimes if I'm trying to sample out some colors. So again, just playing with the two colors, building them up till I get them the way I like them. I still want that gold to show through, but not too much. Now the reason I did the gold chrome underneath is because typically on these sorts of videos, when you see people showing you how to do tortoise shell, they're doing it on a clear extension. And on a clear extension, it looks really cool because you can see through the layers of the jelly polish, which really makes it look like tortoise shell. But because these are my natural nails, I'm not going to get that see-through effect. So I'm using a mirrored background to reflect the colors back again to kind of get that same sort of effect that you get with doing the tortoiseshell on a clear tip. So I got that how I liked it, and I went ahead and cured it. Now moving on to the next nail. I'm going to do it the exact same way, maybe a little faster. This is a great technique to do, especially on yourself, because you can be messy. There's no rhyme or reason to it, so it's not like you're trying to stay in the lines or make one hand look exactly the same as the other hand, because we all know that trying to use our non-dominant hand to do nail art can be kind of tricky. So this is a great one because it doesn't matter. Now here I'm trying to get it as close as I can to the edge of my nail without getting it onto my cuticle. And now, of course, anything we do get on our cuticles, we want to try and get off before we cure, because we don't want gel polish curing onto our skin. Now you might be thinking, so far this doesn't look like tortoiseshell, but trust the process. We will get there. Again, I'm going to get anything off of my cuticle and the skin around my nail. And when I've got it the way I want it, we're going to go back in for a cure. Now, can you do this with regular nail polish? Yes, you can. You just have to be really fast because it's drying on you as you're working. Whereas gel polishes aren't drying, so you have plenty of time to move these colors around. Looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm just being fussy. But let's get that into the lamp. Now, I want to show you something here. Look at the side of my nail. It puddled off the side. Now it's not stuck to my skin, but now I've got a blob on the side. So we're going to take care of that right now. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to polish off or file off all that excess. It's not going to be a big deal because I haven't top coated yet. So once I top coat, it's going to take care of everything that I've just filed, and you won't be able to tell the difference. Here we go. Okay, moving on. Last step, the orange. This is what's really going to make it look like tortoiseshell, because like a pair of tortoiseshell sunglass frames, they kind of have that orange tint to them. So tortoiseshell kind of has that orange tint. So I'm just applying a coat of my jelly in orange. And again, this is what's really going to make it look like tortoiseshell. You can see the difference already between the two nails. We'll clean it up. Yep. Let's get that under the lamp. There we go. Those look pretty good, but I think my pointer finger, my index finger, needs a little something too. So let's do half and half. So back to the blooming gel, only on one side of my nail. And then let's get our colors back out. So we've got that milk chocolate. And these colors actually all came in a Born Pretty set. So if you go to their website or if you go to Amazon, you should be able to find these jellies in one set. I don't think they market it as a tortoise shell set. But you can see pretty easily that these colors all work really well for tortoiseshell. So now in with my dark chocolate. And I got to remind myself not to do too much because again, I'm only working with half the nail and I can't, I want to get it as close as I can to that middle mark, but not drag it off to the other side. So we'll get that old cuticle stick back in here and we'll just move it around a little. You can see how I just glue a tip onto the end of the sticks, and they're kind of handy. Obviously, I've used this one many times. Okay, we'll just clean it up a little because I did kind of go a little too far. And again, I don't have to worry about damaging the chrome because, like I said, the chrome has a yellow jelly coat on top of it. Which you have to top coat it because otherwise your chrome is going to come off. Okay, let's cure that. And we'll hit this with the orange. Clean it up. Get it back under the lamp. And there we go. Tortoise shell done. Got to do my second hand. And there they are, all finished, except, as you can tell, I'm going to bling them. So let's get our top coat out. I'm not using a particular gem glue. I'm just going to use this top coat because this is a pretty thick top coat, and it's going to work really well on these little tiny gems and beads and things. If I had bigger rhinestones and whatnot that I was going to be putting on my nails than this, I might want to go with a gem gel, something even stronger. But for what I'm doing, my top coat is going to work just fine. So I've already selected the rhinestones and beads I want to use, which are all kind of in these yellow and orange tones. And I'm using my wax pencil, my picker-upper, and that orange wood stick. Those things are handy. So just get the gel in the right place, get the rhinestones and the beads in the right place. These caviar beads are tricky little devils. So having the picker-upper and the orange wood stick definitely help. And of course, by putting these on with a gel, you can manipulate them. So you can move them around until you get them exactly where you want them and then cure them. Whereas if I was using a nail glue, or if I was using a regular nail enamel, those things are going to dry in place real fast. So using a little bit of gel gives you that extra bit of time to get them exactly where you want them. Okay, let's cure it. And now the top coat. So I'm going to apply my top coat over the entire nail because I don't have a top coat on top of that tortoise shell yet. But I also need to lock in those stones and beads. So I'm going to push my brush right up against the edge of those beads to really get a grip on them with the top coat. Getting in the back there is tricky. I try not to get my beads too close to my cuticle so that I have a little bit of room to go in there and get some top coat in there too. And then I will go back and wipe it off of my cuticle. But if you get the gems and the crystals and whatnot too close to the cuticle when you're doing things like this, you can't get anything behind there to help lock them in. So you may not be able to get them secured enough and you may pop them off pretty easily. But even if you are able to secure them well, really close to the cuticle, when you do go to take them off, it might be a little harder to get back there and get them off because they are so close to the cuticle, unless you grow them out. All right, I'll show you how I do this one. I'm going to do this one a little bit different. I'm just going to do them all along the top there. I'm not going to run them down the center because I want you to see that pretty tortoise shell that we just did. And let's move them into place, make sure they're centered. Now you can see the place where I filed right there. See, that's going to disappear when I top coat, so I'm not worried about that. Let's go ahead and cure this one. All right, I went ahead and did the next one because I did it the exact same way. Didn't think you needed to see it again. I'm gonna do my pinky and my thumb. And I'm just going to run these down the center just like I did my index finger. I'm just fighting those little caviar beads right now because they keep bouncing all over the place. Now if I had a silicone mat down instead of this dentist paper, the beads don't fling all over the place as easily. So in hindsight, I would have put a silicone mat down instead. All right, so they're all done. Everybody's blinged out. We've got our tortoise shell. Thumbs are done, but I want to do one more thing. I want to run a line of beads right down the center to really differentiate the gold from the tortoise shell. Just make it pop a little more. So I ran my clear gel down the middle and I'm picking up all of my beads. Now I've got to line them all up in a straight line. Oh my gosh. Have you done this before? What a pain in the butt. Because they will slide around in that gel. And every time you touch them with your tool, the gel touches your tool and the gel wants to move with your tool, and when the gel wants to move with your tool, the beads want to move with the gel. So here is a trick I figured out to get them even straighter than that. So I've switched to my silicone mats. This one is just another mat I have, but I have a factory edge right there, so it's perfectly straight. Now, nothing sticks to silicone, or nothing I know of sticks to silicone. So I just put a swipe of my top coat, and this is a no wipe top coat, by the way. I don't think I ever mentioned that. But a swipe of my top coat down on the mat, and I'm just gonna take a whole mess of beads, fling them on my mat, and line them up against that perfectly straight edge. They just stick right into my top coat. They're lined up all across that straight edge. This couldn't be easier. Look at that, just boop, 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 line them right up. And they're sticking in place there. They're not following my tool. So as I touch them with the tool, I can get them to line up and they're not sliding anywhere. So now what do we do? Well, I'm going to bring the lamp to the beads. We'll let them do their thing. Now I want to get the back side because that was hidden from the lamp. So I'm going to hold this down, get my lamp back, and just hold it down while I hit it again. And now watch this. Perfect line of beads. I'll get rid of all that mess. Look at that. Perfect line of beads. Oh, I love it. So we're going to clean up all that extra clear top coat. And again, it's not sticky because it's a no wipe top coat. But I'm going to snip off all that extra. And it's okay. You want to keep a little bit of it because that's what's holding all the beads together. So don't clip it too close to the beads. But when you go to put this on your nail, you're not going to see it because guess what? You're going to use a clear top coat to adhere them to your nail. So the little bit that you leave attached is going to be invisible anyway. So here we are. Look at that. perfectly straight. I wish I had done this the first time. Let's see if I can get it on there just to show you what it would look like. So yeah, so I put some top coat on my nail, I'd slap this on, I'd cure it, I'd do one more coat just to kiss the edges, make sure it's in. There you go, perfectly straight beads. Easy peasy. That is what I will do next time. If you try it, let me know. Now here's just the bottom of my nails, like I told you. They're my natural nails. They look gnarly underneath, I know that, but when I can, I like to paint them so they look pretty. This is a regular nail polish, not gel. I don't want gel in my hyponychium. And there we go. That's what they look like when they're done. Let me know if you tried these techniques. See you in the next video.